Call Loyam La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS. Peace and blessing to the Akim and the few Akwath across the four winds. This is your brother Batamayim of Great Millstone, Houston. Want to bring out a quick lesson, a few precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Just a simple Google search on floodless.com. I found an article from the flood that happened in Brazil that literally happened right after we held our Passover service. So the headline reads, Brazil, hundreds displaced by floods in northern Parana. Now Brazil, which would be considered our northern kingdom brothers, which is Israel, which consists of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, make up the 12 tribes of Israel. But it goes to show you that the Lord is not playing. After the Passover, it's a serious time. So the Lord wreaked havoc and showed forth his judgment. So I have a few precepts lined up. Lord willing, this is edifying. First precept, Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Now, when you go into that word feast, Strong's H2282, and it's Chag, a festival or a victim therefore, solemn feast day, sacrifice, solemnity, a festival, feast, festival gathering, pilgrim feast, a festival sacrifice and feast. And this is on the King James Online. Now, the feast they celebrated Carnival. You know, Carnival pretty much is a celebration that a lot of Northern Kingdom and even brothers in the islands, well, I don't want to say brothers, but we have our Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, but mainly Levi and Benjamin. They celebrate Carnival also, where they dress up, well, the lack thereof, you know, pretty much real provocative. It's a lot of perverseness that goes on. But the Lord hates your feast days. You're supposed to be celebrating the Passover. You're supposed to be in that solemn assembly, which is a very serious time. And actually, let me go to the etymology of the word solemn and assembly. So, etymon online, the word solemn, mid 14th century, solemn, solemnic, Salakia, can't really pronounce that, performed with due religious ceremony or reverence, sacred, devoted to religious observations, also of a vow, etc., made under religious sanction, binding. And okay, that's about it on that. Annual, established, religiously fixed, formal, ceremonial, traditional. So this is our tradition. This is our heritage, celebrating the Passover. Lord willing, the Lord pass over us so that we won't be put to death. So it's a real serious time. And then let me look up the word assembly. Assembly, 1300s, a gathering of persons, a group gathered for some purpose. So what was the purpose? That the Lord passes over, that you put the blood of your doorpost, which that would be your mind. Like, you're supposed to be locked in instead of, you know, being in this party in mirth spirit. Like, this is not the time to be partying. My next precept, Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And like I was saying, they were partying and bullshitting, marrying and giving into marriage. So you know it was a lot of sex going on. We know Jake, which is short for Jacob, you know that they were eating and drinking. I'm pretty sure it was plenty of good food, plenty of drinks, but I guarantee you it's some abomination. I'm pretty sure they was eating bacon and all kind of abominable foods also. And then what the Lord do? He sent forth a literal flood. Now we know the first death will be the flood when you go back into Genesis. Now the second death is going to be the flood by those ICBM, those nuclear missiles. But the Lord, he sent a literal flood to Brazil just to show that he wasn't playing any games. And then let me get one more precept. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So we're living in a time of fear. Like you're supposed to fear the Lord. That's the beginning of wisdom. You're supposed to be definitely in a fearful state around the time of the Passover because you don't want to be put to death. Especially not, you don't want the Lord to come to visit you and you partying and bullshitting. But that's all I have for this quick lesson. Lord willing, this was edifying and straight to the point. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the Akim and a few Akwath across the four winds. The water, Aman, Tawab.